Hi, welcome to Shane Bailey Vlogs. It has been about a year since I've had this Seadoo Spark. It's a 2015. I got it with 16 hours on it. I thought it was about time to do a review on how I enjoy it and what things I don't like about it. I'm currently in 40-degree weather in December in Pennsylvania, which is a lot warmer than it normally is. So the first thing I want to go over is comfortable. Is it comfortable? That's a yes and no question. So I bought this down in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. Riding it on the rough bay water, it's pretty impacting. I mean, I'm 20 years old. After about 4 hours of riding, you get back, you're sore, it's rough. But when the water's flat, it's like obviously anything when the water's flat, I don't boat or anything, it's gonna be an amazing ride. All right, so a lot of questions I get asked is, what are the things I don't like about the Seadoo Spark? Well, for the 2015 year and before, you could only get white seats from what I understand, and white seats just get dirty really easily, and there was a few stains and such. I got cut when I was out riding once and I got blood all over the seat. I did manage to get it out with some just Windex. That's all I had at the time. It worked because the seats are actually really easy to clean, really durable too. I do like my Seadoo because the person that had it before me put the hopper in front of it so you can store stuff, and I'll show you that in a moment. And this is a 2-up, not a 3-up. So I ride with my girlfriend a lot, so it's not too bad seating 2 people, and it's still got plenty of power. My dad has a GTI 90 horse, which is a 90 horse, and his does about 42 miles per hour at top speed. I got this up to 52, and the acceleration is phenomenal. It's beyond what I expected for such a small ski, and I'm very impressed with it overall. For steering too, from riding his GTI, which is a 3-seater, and it's a lot bigger from the 2-seater Seadoo Spark, is that you can steer super sharp, and it's really, really handy for small turns going through well, when you're coming into the docks and everything, there's a lot of little islands and stuff, so you gotta like veer real hard, sharp lefts. You gotta stay inside the canal. Other things I do not like are, I'd have to say, I really hate the white. I want to get other seats for it. I really have no complaints besides how rough it rides in really large waves, but what makes up for the large waves and the uncomfortable riding is that you can basically launch this thing off like ramping a dirt bike. This thing is literally a dirt bike on water versus my dad's GTI, which is like a Cadillac on water, because you hit waves on his, it's just smooth gliding. It's so much longer. I just love riding his for comfort, but when I want to have fun, you can't beat having a Spark. You can get out and rip around, and I raced a older it was an older supercharged Seadoo, and I kept up with it pretty good for what it's worth. Other things I love about the Seadoo are the looks of the Seadoo Sparks are so sharp. It's really, really nice having such a sharp looking machine, because I pull up and people are like, "Ooh, that thing looks really nice." But then you can't beat it for the price, because a new GTI goes for 12 grand, and I bought this one used for like 5 grand with trailer and all ready to go. They had it winterized when I bought it, and the only thing you need to do mainly to winterize this, and I can show you guys if you want to see how to winterize the Seadoo Spark. The way I do it, I have it garage kept, so I run coolant through the exhaust. The engine is cooled off of coolant, so I can't think of the name of what they call that. So before, like I was telling you that I like the storage compartment put on the front. Without the storage compartment, it's just open. There's just holes that go straight through from here. The water rushes straight through. But with the compartment here, it blocks all the water, and you can store, I have ropes and such, straps, emergency kit, but it also comes with another compartment on the side for like a waterproof case. It's an SOS, it says SOS safety kit. We pull the compartment off, it stores, and I keep my phone and everything inside that waterproof floating emergency kit. I have all my whistles, and there's another rope and buoy inside of that. There's an oil fill hole here to check your oil and such. You can pop the seat up. Underneath the seat, you got your fire extinguisher and your gas fill point, which kind of stinks, because if you want it to just roll up to a fuel station on the water, you have to get off, take the seat off and fill it. As in my dad's GTI, you could just fill it while sitting on it. You don't have to get up at all, which is super convenient. but you have to realize this is so much more compact that for how small and compact it is for speed and performance, you lose some luxuries. As in for launching it, it's super easy. It's light, small. You can move this thing with your hands. You can literally push it right off into the water versus submerging the entire GTI and struggling to push it off the trailer. This weighs 450 pounds, oh no, it's 350 pounds dry weight. After fuel, it's about 400 pounds. And with my girlfriend and I on it, our load is like 370 pounds, and it says it can hold up to 450 pounds. I haven't had any complaints for weight and such, that it's overwhelming or anything. Did roll this a few times onto the handlebars and such, and I had no problems whatsoever, as in loose parts, breaking, cracking. I hit rocks and other materials and no scratching on the exoskeleton. It's made out of plastic, strong, durable plastic, as in where other jet skis have fiberglass bottoms which scratch and puncture a lot easier. This also comes with the IVR system, which is reverse brake, and when you're at idle, it holds itself steady. Whereas if you don't get the IVR system, it only propels forward. There is no reverse. So when you're docking, it's super hard because it's just propelling forward. Where I put this in neutral, it sits still, and I can go towards the dock, back the dock, all with two controls. It has two levers. This is for reverse and braking, and then the right side is for throttle. A few other things when it comes to luxury is my dad's GTI comes with mirrors and larger gauges that show your speed, RPM, depth, all that. It has all. This doesn't have a depth finder. You can get one installed for about $250. You can also get VTS, which is variable trim control, which helps for flattening out on water. This does not have that. I do plan on buying it and installing it. I will make a video for you guys. It's not too much of a challenge. It's just a little bit of wiring. They give you a new handle or a cover up here so that you have the VTS button. It's already pre-cut and everything, so you don't have to cut anything. And it allows me to adjust my trim. You don't have to do any firmware updates or computer resets. It's just plug and play. And his has that, and I used it a few times. And if you want to pop a wheelie, I mean, his is much larger, but if you set the VTS just right, you can get the front end up just like any other boat. This, as of right now, if you lay into the throttle, the front comes straight up into the water, which is fun. It's almost like having the Trix model, which I have not ridden the Trix myself, but I've seen videos, and if you use this just right, you can do everything those guys can do with the Trix. Obviously, there's some differences, obviously, from handlebar to maybe how the IBR system is made. I don't think there is, but it's so far I love this jet ski. I would not trade this in for a GTI because I like the speed, performance, and how I can rip around on it. And it just feels like I'm on like a four-wheeler or a dirt bike on water, and I'm not just driving on a boat. And yeah, I had flipped this once or twice. I did one in Lake Wallenpaupack, and the other time was in the bay. I was trying to get off onto a sandbar, and I rolled it. As of turning this over, it is so easy. I just pull with one arm, and it flips right back over. Whereas my dad's, he flipped his, and it's such a moment to try to flip that thing over. It's a beast. It takes forever. It takes two people if you want to do it easily. One, you got to get all your body weight on it and pull like a son of a bitch. So it also comes down to weight and size. It actually handles very well, and it maintains very well. Like when you think you're gonna roll, you actually don't. Like you get nervous. When I first hopped on this, it felt like it kept teetottering back and forth, like it would just roll real easily. Once you build the confidence and gain control of it, it's actually never gonna flip unless you do something dumb like I did, where I let off the throttle really fast. It comes to a stop, and I leaned, and I got scared, and I leaned back, and it just toppled right over. And we flew off while coming down from like 50. We were doing like 30, and we launched off of it, and it like somersaulted. But I mean, that's gonna happen with any jet skis because they're so small. I mean, you can flip a motorcycle if you don't know how to ride it. But now that I know how to ride it, I literally can try to flip it, and I can't flip it anymore because I know how to veer to save it. For hauling, I have a Jeep Wrangler. It's a 2007. It's a 4-door. It hauls it with no problem. It's obviously very light. I think it's about 1,000 pounds with the trailer and jet ski, whereas my dad's jet ski is close to 2,500 pounds, and he has a 2-door Wrangler, and it squats, and it's you can definitely feel there's a load behind it for a small sedan or SUV. Well, if you need any tips on winterization, I set up my own little pump. It's a drill pump with 2 clear hose lines with PVC fittings. It works just fine. It threads right into the hose hole, and you just wind the drill up, get the pressure, and then you start it just like you would flush it after you're done in the ocean, or let it run and you let it filter back out, shut it off. And that's what I do for winterization. I don't spray the plugs, which I do plan on doing in the future if I don't keep it in the garage, and just for its overall health. I don't want to destroy my motor or ruin any internals, because the salt water just eats everything up. I do spray silicone all over the engine. I mean, I rinse it down and then I spray a silicone based like lubricant on the engine so that the salt water doesn't erode. Well, getting on the Seadoo Spark is actually kind of interesting compared to the GTI. When I get up on it, I'm 200 pounds, I'm 6'3". It teetoters a lot because of how small it is width-wise. So if you stand too far to the right, it's just gonna roll back off. So you gotta balance your weight just right. And once you get used to it, it's easy. I do recommend this for younger folks, not older people, because it's so sporty, and it's like, would you go hop on a dirt bike and go do jumps every day if you're 50 years old? Probably not. If you're 50 and you take this out, yeah, you can still have fun with it, but as time goes on, your joints are just gonna be aching. It's like getting in a boxing ring, and when you're done, you lay in bed, you're just like, oh man. Fuel economy, I can get this out in the water for a good 8-hour, 10-hour day of just ripping and tearing. I haven't had any long trips yet where I'm just on the throttle consistently. I do want to go from the Rehoboth Bay down to Maryland through the inlet. There's like little canals that go down through. I want to plan a trip with my buddy, and I'm gonna have a GoPro next summer so you guys can see what it's like on the bay with it. Last year we were out, we saw dolphins, like a big group of dolphins, at least 20 of them, coming through the bay, and we were driving around them. One jumped right in front of the jet ski, and from that moment I was like, I can't believe I didn't have a GoPro. I missed such a beautiful, it was a Sunday morning, it was just a nice wind chill on the water. It was like glass across the whole bay. It was right in front of the inlet, and we just kind of rode around with the dolphins. They weren't scared or anything, they just kind of swam around us and kind of played around. It was awesome. It was a really great experience, and I don't want to miss that again, so I want to keep a GoPro always on board so I can give you guys cool things. Like, we're gonna start checking out different sandbars. There's like a bacon island in the bay. I'm gonna go so we can see what's on the island. Maybe there's like dead species that we can check out. But from my experience, I put about 10 hours on it last summer. I got it 2 months into the summer, and I was like, I'm not gonna record yet because I want to get used to it, kind of feel how it runs and how it performs. That way I can give you guys feedback on how I feel about it. For performance and comfortability, I mean, it's a little uncomfortable sometimes, but for the most part, it's pretty damn exciting to be on. I would definitely recommend a Seadoo Spark to anybody, no matter all the bad reviews out there. It's a great machine. It's so affordable and so reliable. I've had no reliability problems. It's never let me down. As long as you follow the instructions, because a lot of people don't know that when you have a jet ski, you have to start them in about waist high water. If you start them right at like below your kneecaps, all that sand and debris gets up into the seal, and it just destroys everything. And my dad launched off of a beach because he had to go to the beach for some reason. It was like emergency. He had my sister and Bill on a board, and they couldn't get it back out of the waves. And he got a rock stuck in his impeller, and he couldn't, it just wouldn't spin, it wouldn't get any power, it would just idle funny. We didn't know what was on. I thought he blew his seal out, but it wasn't. Unfortunate for him because it was brand new, and I had to tow him back to land. And for towing, I had a 1,200 pound jet ski with 3 people on it, and it pulled pretty well. I mean, I had like a speed of like 10 mile an hour at wide open, which is, I mean, expected for such a small machine. Probably was not good for it, but hey, you gotta help your family when you can. And yeah, you can tell I'm a little nervous because I don't do too many reviews. It's been a little while since I've been behind the camera. Things, I guess I'll show you around the Seadoo so you can check it out for yourself. So This is the hull. It's made up of durable, it's just called an exoskeleton. I can look up the parts and everything. It's just called lightweight structure. Can't really see that. This is the screen for your speed, RPMs, hours, everything. There's a little red button so you can control all your options. Handlebar for the IBR, lever, and speed control lever. Here's an engine passage so you can get into your engine. This is for like minor stuff. Like I put a battery tender on it this winter. So I just ran a wire from my battery. I don't know where it fell to. It's just I got it from Harbor Freight. It's like a motorcycle tender. So I just ran that. You probably could get to all your spark plugs through this small hole. It's probably, I wouldn't recommend it. It's probably just easier to take it apart. You can get to your coolant. You can get to your computer. Back here you got a hook. You can't pull a ski or tube behind this because it's only a 2-up. You need a 3-up so you have a spotter. Here's the step that you can, it only comes on certain models to help you get back on. Here's the IBR system. This whole piece right here would not be here if it was just a standard jet ski. There's instructions and blah 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 on how to flip it back over. This is all stuff they go over. You can't purchase a jet ski from a company without them going over the safety tips. This is your oil fill cap that I already explained. Here's your sticker on weight capacity and the weight of the Seadoo itself. Fits 2 big people comfortably. It holds 7 gallons of fuel. And that lasts me, I could go out Saturday and Sunday for a good amount of time and enjoy myself without filling up. It's a really sharp piece. So if you guys have any, if you want a thorough video on everything going over the Seadoo Spark, any questions about it that I didn't answer, any little things I didn't go over, because there's really not too much to go over. It's just it's a jet ski. I can explain more in depth about the seat. I can show you pictures of what it's like to have 2 people on them, me alone. Like obviously this summer you'll see videos of riding it, so that'll answer what it looks like and what it seems to feel like when you're riding it. If you need a video on how to winterize it, I'll gladly do one. If you need any videos on anything based off of the Seadoo Spark, just throw it in the comments and I'll be sure to get to them as fast as possible. And I'll keep you along the way with my actual year review this summer when I'm at the beach. And hopefully we can get some cool videos of stuff on the bay. And if I go back out in the ocean, I'll definitely record that. I went out there once with it, and going through the inlet, the Indian River Inlet's one of the worst inlets on the East Coast. The day I went out, it was actually pretty nice. It was the nicest time I've ever seen it. I've only been out through there on a boat, a 24-foot fishing boat, and it was pretty intimidating. But on this, you got power. You don't have to worry about power. You just need to stay steady with steering, no sharp turns, and just keep your eye on the prize, and that's the ocean. You don't want to get off course and whip real hard to the left and let a wave take you over, because that's probably equals death. So if you want to see what ocean's like, I have a cool story when I was out in the ocean when I was trying to ride a wave close to shore and I didn't make it. But if you have any questions on winterization, oil change, anything, I'll go through what I buy. And it cost me $30 this year to winterize it. I got the coolant from Walmart it was 3 gallons for $8, and the pump and all the pieces and the 10-foot of hose I used, I got for $27 at Tractor Supply. I can go over a list of parts for you guys, what I use, what I recommend. If you have any questions whatsoever, just put them in the comments. I'll be glad to answer them if I didn't go over thoroughly, because this is my first review and I'm a little nervous, so I apologize. And if you like the video, please hit the like button and feel free to subscribe so that you can see my newer content. And yeah, just leave a comment and I'll be sure to answer it. Thanks for watching. See you next time.